Mr. Chairman. Thank you for listening. I rushed a little bit because of the time limitation. I hope I have been useful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. With this, we end our panel. And we had a lot of presentations, more beautiful from each other. We had 7 presentations in this session, and our panelists basically presented what they had to say successfully. And I'd like to thank them for their sensitivity. Without further saying, I'd like to give the floor to
bırakıyorum.
Professor Mehmet Zerka to administer the evaluation session. The floor is yours, Professor Zelka. Thank you very much. Throughout the day, we've had very nice presentations, and valuable presentations were made from Turkey and from around the world, and they stayed with us until now, and this makes us all the happier. And as someone who is aware of the importance of the issue, we are happy. As moderators, I'd like to thank Professor Cengiz Toraman, Atilla Batur, and Ensar Nishancı, and Yakup Bulut for their nice management of the sessions and their contributions. And I'd like to express my gratitude for all the participation. And I'd like to give specific thanks to Dr. Ghulam Nabi. He lives in the United States, and when the Congress started, we started like at 9 a.m. For Turkey. It was nighttime there. So basically, he didn't have a chance to sleep, and I'd like to give him specific thanks. Thank you, Dr. Ghulam Nabi. And to offer a general evaluation, I'd like to give the floor to General Adnan Tanrıverdi, and if the moderators want, we could have further contribution from them. So I'd like to give the floor to to General Tanrıverdi. Thank you. General, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. May God bless you. We started at 9 a.m. and it was an intense work, really. We were here for more than 10 hours, and we have completed it. I'd like to thank everyone who put effort into the formation of this Congress, and 26 presentations were made, and we had moderators who managed the Congress, and things went fluently, and we obtained beautiful information, and I'd like to thank them for that. The mission of ASSAM in our target of Islamic unity, Islamic union, defense is one of the 4 major activity fields. So starting from the center, everything is going to be managed. Before seeing the weapons as a means of war, ASSAM sees it as a guarantee of peace. So without weapon, we won't have peace. And armed forces, in the same manner, they are the enforcers of the law and the rights. If you don't have the weapons and the forces, you cannot really protect your rights. You cannot really protect your benefits. And You cannot even protect your benefits and rights and interests in your own country. So the weapons in this regard is the guarantor of peace and protection of rights. The first Congress was about the administration methods. We talked about the organization. The second one was about the economic cooperation. We had important results out of that as well. The third one was about the cooperation in defense industry. The fourth one was about the joint defense organization, and we were informed in a detailed manner in technical terms as well. And once Islamic Union is achieved, what kind of defense system should we have? This basically was a search into that. The next one is going to be about the foreign policy, and the other one is going to be about the justice system, and the last one is going to be about domestic policies, domestic security. And Islamic region is has its own capacity. It's located in a very beautiful place, and it constitutes like 1/5 of the world's population. And in terms of the standards and the number of the weapons, it has a huge capacity. So we have the flavor, we have the sugar, we have the oil. So what is missing? The missing link is the organization. So as ASSAM, we're trying to create a model, and I think we are above 60% in this regard. Since 2017, we planned to have a Congress every year. Even coronavirus could not prevent our Congress. We will have the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And after the 7th, we will talk about possible solutions that would be administered from a center. So I'd like to thank everyone who put effort into this, and I wish it bears great results, and have a great night, and with salam and love. 108 people followed us. Now we have 76 people following us live. We kind of wore them out, but even if, the followers, what we ask from them is that they share what they learned from this Congress. Thank you very much, and have a good evening. We had 109 participants, and putting the information that we obtained here together, we will share them online. And if the previous moderators would like to contribute with a couple sentences, I'd like to give the floor to them. If not, I'm going to adjourn the Congress. Yeah, no presentation now.
İhtiyari bırakıyoruz. Eğer konuşmak isterlerse biz o hakkı verebiliriz. Ama yeterince...
If you'd like to speak, yes, now is the time.
Müdavim arkadaşlarımızdan maşallah ilk kongreden itibaren Sağır Zeki...
She has been here, Professor Zeki has been with us all the time from the very first one. Let's get your evaluation. God bless you all. Thank you very much. I wish this union starts right away, and next time we will go over, the countries that will be the first members.
İnşallah. Şükran ceziler. Buyurun Cengiz Hocam, siz mi buyurdunuz bir şeyler?
Professor Cengiz, did you have something to say?
Çok teşekkür ederim.
Thank you.
Sayın Paşa
distinguished professor, distinguished general. We're going through tough times because of pandemic, and the Congress went fluently with a nice participation, by the way, even at this late hour. It's like as if we're having a face-to-face Congress. The participation is very nice, and the issues that we touched upon were very nice. I'm not really a person that is very close to the military issues, but I enjoyed, I learned a lot, and I wish we will get together face to face next year and we'll move on with our congresses. May God bless you all. Thank you, Professor Cengiz. Couple sentences.
Sayın Başkanım, çok kıymetli paşam.
Distinguished Chairman, distinguished General, thank you very much. I'd like to thank, in the person of the General, to everyone. A lot of people put effort into this, and translation has been done since the morning, and it's been 10.5 hours, and we didn't have any breaks, by the way. This could be a first of a thing. It's a great performance. We had a Congress of 10.5 hours without any break. So I'd like to thank those invisible heroes. They worked selflessly.
Gerçekten çok istifade ettim. Şunu ifade
I benefited a lot from it, and I'd like to say that about 4 years ago,
bu çalışma belki 4 yıl
this was just an idea, an imagination on the mind of the general. But as of the moment that we are now, we have realized that this is a very important thing to do. And this union should be created. It should be established. And the presentations that were made indicate that we have a long way to go. And in a short while,
belki belli noktalarda kanıyla yola devam ediyordu. İnşallah.
The Europe and the Western countries are moving on slowly, but as Islamic countries, we are going to be moving on like a jet. We're going to travel that path in a fast manner. We have the indicators of that. What happened in Karabakh is one of them. The example set by the Caucasian army is going to be the very seed of that. Distinguished General, this is indicating how rightful your vision has been. This is what we have realized once again, and thank you very much. Thank you. One last thing. As in the presentation of Mr. Karadagi, he said, don't show the Ertuğrul just in the movies. Show Salahattin Eyyubi or Nurettin El-Zengi. I see that as an important matter. Okay, their time will come. I present my respect and love to all the participants. Professor Yakub, thank you. It's a little too late, and just a couple words. I'd like to thank the whole team, starting from the General and everyone else who put together this Congress. I believe this is going to be the beginning of an important awakening you know, an expression that belongs to Said al-Nursi. He basically said, it's enough that we slept as the Islamic world. It is time for us to wake up in the morning of Quran. So I'd like to also say that if this meeting bears concrete results, when it bears institutional results, you know, the researchers, scientists, writers, bureaucrats, they have the task of raising awareness in their own country. You know, we should basically support each other and send this out as a message to the outside world. You know, the steps that Turkey took recently are indicating that Turkey is increasing its power, and it is basically inspiring confidence to the other countries. And once we have the togetherness, this confidence turns into a power. In Azerbaijan, you know, we listened to an Azerbaijani parliament member. He said, strong people should indicate that they're going to help the weak. And I had a chance to listen to many presentations, and the population potential and the resources, we have everything. And there's something strange, and we are responsible for that. You know, we need an awakening, and we have been exploited enough, but it is time to say enough. We should basically be the agent of our own awakening, and I'd like to thank once again all the participation. Professor Ensar.
Eğer kendileri de ifade etmek isterlerse düşüncelerini alırız. Evet. Peki. O zaman
Cengiz Hocam herhalde.
Değerli hocalarım,
distinguished professors.
Öyle mi? Ha, buyursun. Biz burada göremediğimiz için. Ensar hocam.
Selamünaleyküm.
Öyle sessiz duymadan kapatmak hoş olmayacaktı ama.
It wouldn't be nice to close without you saying something. Thank you. Here, I believe a spirit is revitalizing. My own soul is revitalizing as well. The last 3 presentations, well, I wanted to follow them very closely and ask questions. They were valuable. Maybe I might have to ask some of the questions to Colonel Ali in person. The previous presentation was great. And the presentation about Eastern Mediterranean and the islands were great as well. Certain presentations are like, you know, like articles in congresses. You know, I join in many meetings at national and international level. You know, this Congress that was conducted during the COVID-19 pandemic, it is very valuable, and I'd like to thank Mr. Ersan to that. He put a lot of effort into that. I'd like to thank everyone who put this Congress together, and I'd like to give some findings. One of them is, of course, important issues were mentioned. One of them was the recent technologies. Colonel Ali mentioned that, and Mr. Ibrahim mentioned that as well. These are important issues. The world is entering a whole new era. We're going to talk about what's new, not what's old. Let me give you an example. In Karabakh conflict, we talked about the technologies, not army commanders. We didn't say that we would fight till the last drop of our blood. We basically we were in the field with new technologies. You know, Turkey has done in 2020 what Japanese have done in 1970s. Japanese basically said back in the time, small is beautiful. The Turkey's leap forward is much more important than what Japanese did, because Turkey is making core technology. It's not basically just going to increase the number, it's going to diversify technology. This, I believe, is the miracle of Turkey, and it is going to bear great results. About 8 years ago, I was having a meeting with the chief advisor to Iranian president, and this is what I said. The world is going to go through new technologies, and Islamic countries Islamic world is going to be the center of that. This new togetherness is essential.
Orta Doğu dersini veriyorum.
That is the issue of the union of the Islamic world. I'm teaching Middle East, and I'm telling them the map is not something, it is everything. In 1960, looking at the population in Europe and the Middle East, post-war Germany is 62 million. Egypt plus Iran plus Turkey would make 61 million. Just Germany had a larger population than the three largest countries in our geography. So in this, so what we can say basically is that they dwarfed us. So as our president says, we have to be together, we have to be strong, and we have to be big. How such platforms are going to constitute the basis for this, and this spirit is going to rise from such meetings. I'd like to thank everyone who put this Congress together. Thank you very much. Mr. Kurt is with us, and he has been with us from the first Congress. If they have anything to say, we can have it.
Öncelikle Hazirun'a bu çok bereketli şura için, buluşma için ben de hususan teşekkür etmek istiyorum.
I'd like to thank everyone.
Yani bugün bizim son derece önemli bir konuyu burada ele aldığımız
We handled an important issue.
Şunu bir kez daha gördük ki İslam ülkeleri gerçek manada özgürlüklerini kazanmak istiyorlarsa kendi savunma sanayilerini tesis etmek zorundalar. Yani bizim bir Kıbrıs Barış Harekatı'nın ardından yaşadığımız ambargoyla karşılaştığımız sıkıntı nerede, o günler nerede? Bugün itibariyle geldiğimiz şu nokta nerede? Bugün uluslararası hegemonik güçler bize bazı dayatmalarını eskiden olduğu gibi gerçekleştirememelerinin ardında bizim bugün kendi kendimize yeten teknolojik altyapımızın, birçok konuşmacı arkadaşımızın da işaret ettiği gibi geldiğimiz bu nokta var. Fakat biz bunu çok daha ilerilere taşımak ve İslam dünyasıyla bu bütünlüğü sağlamak zorundayız. Yani ben özellikle bu buluşmanın, bu da Kur'an günlerinin bir bereketidir ki doğusuyla batısıyla bizi şöyle bir ortamda bir araya getiriyor. Biz
And
İDSV ekseninde de birçok toplantımızı artık böyle Zoom toplantıları tarzında yapıyoruz.
you know, as IDSB,
Onun
we
için ısrarla
organize many
Ersan
meetings
kardeşime de
online
tavsiye
as
ettiğim
well.
konu buydu. Bizim
And
belki
this is
bir
what I
nimet bir
recommended
boyutuyla
to
bugüne kadar
Mr. Ersan.
istifadesinden maalesef bir cihetle mahrum kaldığımız
So we
ama
basically
bugünlerin
couldn't
bir bereketi olarak,
utilize
önümüze bir fırsat olarak
the
duran
online
bu
meetings
emsal
before.
toplantıları
So this could set an
Mehmet Hocam
example.
özellikle devam ettirmemiz lazım. Ben burada
We
Adnan
should move
Paşa'ma da
on with
Ersan
meetings like
kardeşime de
that.
hasreten bütün ekip arkadaşlarla
I'd like to
beraber
thank
teşekkür ediyorum. Biz bu birlikteliği çok
Professor,
daha ilerilere taşımak durumundayız. Bugün
professors,
bakın
and
Kuala Lumpur'daki
I'd
zirveye
like to thank
ki son derece
everyone
önemli bir
who
zirveydi.
put this
Maalesef bizim Pakistan ve
Congress
Endonezya
together.
gibi ülkeler katılamadılar.
Countries
Çok
like
basit
Pakistan and
tehditler
Indonesia
karşısında
were
geri adım
absent.
atmak zorunda
They
kaldılar.
had to retreat
Yani
on the
biz
face of
özgürlüğü
simple
temin
threats.
etmemizin ana parametrelerini çok doğru tespit etmemiz lazım.
So we have to
Ben o
identify the
gün
major parameters of
Kuala
the formation
Lumpur'daydım
of
ve
freedom.
bir
I was in Kuala
bakanımıza
Lumpur
özellikle Pakistan'ın ve
the
Endonezya'nın
other day,
bugün İslam İşbirliği Teşkilatı'nın
especially
çok
in
işlevsiz
Pakistan
kaldığı,
and Indonesia,
baskılar altında değişik
have a
sebeplerle,
lot to do
gerekçelerle
with
boyun
the
eğmek
dysfunctional
durumunda kaldığı bir
situation of the Islamic
konjonktürde yeni bir sese, bir
cooperation
heyecana, bir
organization.
birlikteliğe
And we
ihtiyacımız
need
olduğunu,
a new excitement.
bunun
We
altyapısının
need
çok
a
düzgün
new
oluşturulması
togetherness,
lazım
and
geldiğini
we
ifade
have to
ederken
establish its
bunların içinde
infrastructure
o Kiel zirvesinin de
well.
en önemli parametrelerinden biri savunma sanayisiydi.
And defense
Bugün burada bunu
industry is a
tartışıyor
key
olmak
parameter
öyle ümit
here.
ediyorum ki çok
And
bereketli neticeler
discussing
verecek.
this is going
İslam
to bear
dünyası
important
Türkiye'nin
fruits.
bugün itibariyle
And
yakalamış olduğu
Islamic
bu
world
teknolojik yeterliliğin farkında.
is
Ama
aware of the
bakın yakinen
technological
bildiğimiz
self-reliance
bazı
that Turkey
tablolar
has
var.
achieved.
Özellikle Asya Pasifik'te
And
çok
there are
bu
certain
konuda samimi duran,
situations
Türkiye'nin savunma sanayisiyle işbirliğini dile getiren bazı insanların siyasi bir takım entrikalarla kurban edildiğine de şahit oluyoruz.
in Asia Pacific, some
bazı
political
gerçekleri
figures
biz
are
dile
being
getirirken
victimized
bunun
because of
arkasında çok sıkı bir farkındalık
mentioning
eğitimi
Turkey's
yapılması lazım geldiğine de
success.
ben burada
So
hasreten
we
dikkat
need
çekmek
an
istiyorum ki bu
awareness
emsal toplantılar
training,
bu zemini biraz
and
daha
such
güçlendirecek,
meetings are going
kuvvetlendirecek.
to
Ben onun için
contribute
özellikle
to
Dersan
the
kardeşimden şunu rica
formation
ediyorum.
of
Bu toplantının
an
kayıtlarını
awareness. So
siz zaten
I
yayınlıyorsunuz. Biz bunu
specifically
tüm İDSV
would like
üyelerimize de
to
66
get
ülkede
the
354
documentation
sivil
of
toplum
this
kuruluş
meeting.
arkadaşlarımıza
You know,
biz
we
bunları
are
gönderelim.
present
Buradaki
in
bakış
66
açısını
countries with
özellikle simultan
154
tercümeler burada önemli.
organizations.
Arapça ve İngilizce yapılan tercümeler.
Especially the
Bütün
simultaneous
İslam
interpretation is
dünyasında
very
bir
important
farkındalık
here.
yakalamak adına
In
ben
terms of
son olarak tekrar hepinize teşekkür ediyorum ve tebrik
creating
ediyorum.
awareness. So I'd like
Hayırlı
to thank
akşamlar
everyone
diliyorum.
and have a good evening.
Ali Bey çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, for these nice ideas. And in the coming period, we would like to consult you on certain issues of this Congress. Maybe we could have a panel or a conference, and we could look for ways of further utility. Thank you very much for your ideas and contribution. So I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Ersan, who has been in the background. Thank you very much, dear professor. You know, my name has been mentioned, and I'm accepting this on behalf of my team. And my voice tremble because I'm very happy, especially at Istanbul University. A lot of people contributed to this. I'd like to give the names of their managers. Mr. Tahsin and his team, representing Istanbul University, and Mr. Nazım and his team that provided infrastructure, and the whole team of ASSAM and the members of the executive board. I'd like to thank everyone. Every incentive, every promotion that I receive, I accept this in terms of recognizing the effort that a lot of people put into this. And we are we do exist as a team. What matters here is that we act together. Thank you very much, with my heartfelt respect. Thank you, Mr. Ersan, for all the participation. We have observed your efforts, and I wish in the following Congress we will see similar efforts from you, and this is what we believe. Distinguished participants, there's one last demand. I'd like to give the floor to Shahid Hashmet. If you would like to say, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Zelka. I just want to express my very humble appreciation and my greetings to the whole team which has managed such a beautiful event, a very long marathon of I think almost 14 hours.
Yeah.
And I must appreciate the stamina and the resilience of the moderators. And my regards to the chairman of ASSAM, General Adnan Tenrivardi, whom I had the pleasure and the honor to meet last year. So my regards to my dear brother, Professor Dr. Bulut, who was the chair of the session last time when I spoke, and my congratulations to the complete team, especially to Colonel Ersan and to Mr. Osman Mijan, if I'm pronouncing the names correctly, and to, I think, many dozens of other organizers and workers, those who are not visible on the screen, but this successful completion of the webinar and the International Congress was not possible without their effort. Thank you very much. It is always a pleasure to interact with my Turkish brothers, philosophers, academicians, and worthy scholars. Thank you indeed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks a lot, Mr. Shahid Hashmet. Thanks a lot. Evet, değerli katılımcılar.
Mehmet Hocam, mikrofonunuz kapalı.
Açık paşam.
Mehmet Hocam, siz kanal değiştiniz galiba. Türkçe'ye geçer misiniz?
Ben hiç kanal değişmedim, dokunmadım ama.
Oldu hocam, şimdi oldu.
Sesiniz geliyor şimdi.
Evet, evet. Belki teknik şeyler kendiliğinden dönüş yapabiliyor konuşmacılara göre. Evet. Hakikaten çok doyurucu.
This was very informative, very satisfying Congress. We spent a lot of time, but this was a very beautiful Congress. Our son was concerned whether we would have a problem. You know what happens once we do what we should, Allah is granting success, you know. This is the kernel, this is the first step under the leadership of General Adnan. And we are completing the fourth of our Congress. And I can see that we have taken a long way. You know, formation of unity is a necessity for the Islamic world to resolve the conflict, and their defense is going to be possible only through the formation of a defense unity. And Islamic countries reach basically the deserved level and standard as individuals and countries. I'd like to thank you once again, and here I adjourn the Congress, and I express my gratitude and have a great evening.
Ayrılmak istemiyor insan ama
I know that you don't want to leave. Okay, have a good night.
Kıyımlar, yıkımlar, kaoslar ve işgallerle yok olmanın eşiğine gelen İslam dünyası. Demokrasi yalanları ve laiklik adı altında entrikalar. Parçalanmış